Hey, comic addicts, it's Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze with a nice stack of comics from my comic shop. Let's check them out. Hey, comic addicts. I've mentioned it before, but I like to buy some of my comics from my comic shop. I do that for two reasons. One, they're very conservatively graded. So a lot of times the comics I get from them are really worth it because the grades that they are higher than what they charge me for. And two, they have a deal where you can piggyback your purchases together so that you can save on shipping. And three, they have weekly sales. So I just throw things in my box, wait for it to come on sale, check out the price when it's on sale. And if I want it, I piggyback it on my monthly subscription and I get a big package at the end of the month. So the first comic I want to show you is this one, Avengers #2. It's the Kang War. And this is from 2017. And this is an Alex Ross cover. And the reason I picked this one up is because I thought the cover art was really cool. And so it shows you the different appearances of Kang throughout the year. There's Rama Tut, and Iron Lad, and the Scarlet Centurion, Immortus, and then Kang the Conqueror. So I picked that one up because I thought that was a really cool Alex Ross cover. And the next one I'm going to show you is Little Archie #98. Now, I don't have a lot of Little Archie, but this is from 1975. And I thought this was a really cool comic to have because the cover's a little creepy and a little bit disturbing. The first thing is the art of these kids. They look like something from like Children of the Corn or something like that. And here you got these little kids having a bathing suit contest. And, you know, some other little kids are there. But if you look in the crowd, there's two old guys there. And that's a little bit disturbing the way they're checking them out. So I thought that was kind of neat. I picked up another Archie comic. This is Archie's Madhouse #9. This is from December 1960. And it's just a classic blue cover. I thought that was pretty cool. There's no others like this. This one's a little bit tricky to find. This is very low grade. I was happy when I found it. They are available, but they get pretty pricey because of the uniqueness of it. All right, the next three comics are EC Comics. And this is MD. This is MD #2, if I have them in order, this #2. And MD #1, or MD was a comic that EC came out with when they were trying to make a new direction in comics as a result of the Comic Code Authority. And so, as you know, they had a lot of those different kind of horror comics, right? So this was one they came out with to try to take it in a new direction. And MD #2, this one, is the first one of the series that has the Comic Code Authority sticker on it up there. This is a Johnny Craig cover. And something that's pretty cool about these MD comics is that they've got some great art on it by Johnny Craig, who did a lot of the previous covers, but they're very inexpensive. That's from July '55. Here's #3 from September of 1955, another Johnny Craig cover. And then here's #5 from January of 1956. Also a Johnny Craig cover. I got each one of these for maybe about $12 or $14 a piece. So they're really affordable compared to some of the other EC comics just before it. I've got a comic from Magazine Enterprises, Straight Arrow #7 with a great train cover. That's part of the reason I picked this one up, most of the reason I picked it up. Straight Arrow was a radio show, and the comic book came about as a result of the popularity of the radio show. But Straight Arrow was a Comanche Indian was raised by white settlers. And then he had a secret identity as Straight Arrow, was a crime fighter. Another train cover is Durango Kid, number 21, also Magazine Enterprises from February 1953. I really like this cover, how, you know, it's that classic trope of you got to duck down because the train's coming to a tunnel. And whereas Straight Arrow was a comic book that came about because of the popularity of a radio show, this one came about as popularity of a movie. So you can see up there, it says Charles Starrett as Durango Kid. And so he was an actor who played Durango Kid in the movies. This comic book was pretty cool because it has a story in it, which is a Western remake of one of Edgar Allan Poe's story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue. This one. And I just picked this up because I figured I'd like to watch this again. I saw this years ago, probably when I was a kid, or maybe I read the story back as a teenager. I used to read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories. And then one more Western train cover is The Hooded Horseman, number 22, from March of 1952 by American Comics Group, who I really like the comics that they put out. They're pretty good. They usually have some good art on the cover. The stories are decent, and they're a lot less expensive than some of the other ones from the time. Hooded Horseman was released by ACG in 2 series. This is from the first series from 1952 to 1956, and it ran from issues 18 to 27. This is issue 22. And then the second series was from 1955 and only consisted of issues 21 and 22. Kind of weird how those numbers don't align. So there's 2 Hooded Horsemans, number 22. I'll show the other one right over here. This one and the one I showed. All right, the next one, the next 3 are what are called super comics. And it was also referred to as IW Publishing. And this publisher reprinted comics. And so you could find a lot of good stories, Golden Age stories in these for a lot less expensive. And so the first one I want to show you is Daring Adventures number 12. This is a really cool one to pick up. This is Daring Adventures number 12 from 1963, and it is a reprint of Phantom Lady number 14. Now it's a reprint of the whole comic book except for the first page. In Phantom Lady 14, the first page is kind of a title splash page for the first story. That's missing from here. But I went through it and checked it on the one of the websites, Comic Book Plus, and all the other pages are here, page for page. It's got a new cover, and that's a Joe Simon cover. So that's pretty neat because you can pick up basically Phantom Lady 14. It's all Matt Baker art inside, and you got a new cool Joe Simon cover, and it's a fraction of the cost if you try to find Phantom Lady number 14. So that's a really good one to look for. And then the next Super Comics reprint I have is The Black Knight. And this is from 1963. And this reprints the Black Knight number 1 from Toby Press, again, with a new cover. So that's pretty cool because that Toby Press Black Knight is a little bit harder to find and also going up in price. So you can look for that one. So the next comic is Doll Man number 17, another Super Comics reprint. And this is Doll Man number 17 from 1964, which is a reprint of Doll Man number 28. This has a new cover. It's a Ross Andru cover. And it's a really great cover. It's got that yellow top, which really makes everything pop, and then the sarcophagus and the mummy in it. And that's one of the things that I like about these super reprints are the different covers, and also that you can find these things for, a little bit less expensive sometimes than the originals. And most of the Dollman covers, the original Dollman covers, I don't think they're that great. It's got a lot more action in it. All right, so the next comic is a Marvel Western. And I'd say probably about 3 years ago now, I came across this article or a blog post, which was talking about the 100 best Marvel comic stories to read. And this was on there. And so it recommended reading Rawhide Kid number 17, 18, and 19, which is the origin basically of Rawhide Kid. And so I've been looking for those. They're tough to find. I finally found Rawhide Kid number 19. This is from December of 1960. So it's the third issue in that run. And I'm looking for 17 and 18. And I haven't had any luck. So there is a Hawaii Collector Show coming up this next weekend. And, maybe I could find it there. But I was really happy to find this one. This is Rawhide Kid number 19 from December of 1960. All right. Now, the next one is a Golden Age comic called Blue Bolt. This is Blue Bolt, Volume 7, number 5. This is from October of 1946. And it's in really nice shape. The front cover is, anyway. And it's got a really cool scene going on there with these masked villains coming through the woods. That'd be pretty creepy. This one I picked up because I was able to get it for $6.70, and that's a great price for a Golden Age comic. And I took a chance on this because my comic shop listed this as fair, and a lot of times for the fair comics, they don't put any pictures, so it's a gamble. But I've taken some gambles and won, taken some gambles and lost. This one, to me, is way better than fair. The cover is really beautiful. It's attached. The book is complete. So the issue with this is that on the back cover, about right up behind here, is a piece of the back cover right near the spine missing. That's about the size of maybe half of a quarter. And that's it. So to me, that's a lot better than a fair, and I think that's a good deal. It's got a lot of different stories in it. One of them is about this character named Sergeant Spook. I'll put a picture of him right over here. And he's got a pretty interesting story that he was a police officer who was killed in a lab explosion, and it made him invisible. And nobody can see him or talk to him except for this one teenage kid who's kind of like his sidekick, and they go around, solving crimes and catching the bad guys and all that. And so there's a story about him in here. That's Blue Bolt, Volume 7, number 5. All right, the last three are the best ones. This is a comic that I've just been looking for. It's a cover by, I saw somebody post this on Instagram about 3 years ago, and I've been looking for it ever since. And it's Teen Confessions, number 5, a Charlton comic from July 1967 with a beautiful Dick Giordano underwater cover. And I always dig these underwater covers when they use like the different colored greens and everything. And there's a couple of other covers. That showcase cover with dolphin under the water is pretty cool. But that's purely a cover by. I've been looking for that. I was really happy to finally find a copy of that for my collection. And then this next comic I really think is underappreciated and undervalued. This is Westerner number 26. This is from April of 1950. And it's by Wanted Comics Group. And it's the origin and first appearance of Calamity Kate. So there's a lot of Golden Age female heroes, the Blonde Phantom and Miss Mask and the Black Cat, etc. Lady Luck. There's a lot of collectors who go after them, and Calamity Kate is one that I never hear anybody talk about. But this was her first appearance. And then in issue number 27, which I'll drop in right over there, is her second appearance. And it's a beautiful cover where she's taking up almost the whole front of the cover, and she's in a purple outfit. That's her first solo story. And so these are two comics that I think are worth having in the PC, Westerner 26 and 27. They're not that expensive. So that's that one. And then the last one, which is the most exciting comic of this haul, is Harvey Hits #1 from September of 1957. I am a big Phantom fan. And when I got back into comics, collecting comics about 8 or 10 years ago, I really wanted to get more Phantom comics. So I've been actively finding them for my PC. I've got nearly completed the Charlton run, the King run I'm working on, the Gold Key run, and I've been trying to get these Harvey Hits. Harvey Hits had Phantom in this issue, and it reprinted the daily newspaper Phantom strips from February 18th of 1946 to July 13th of 1946. This is a Joe Simon cover. And then Harvey Hits was an anthology comic, so it wasn't all Phantom. Like it might be, for instance, an issue of Casper or Little Lotta or Richie Rich or Little Audrey or Sad Sack or Little Dot. And then every so often Phantom would show up in here. And so I had half of, there were eight times that Phantom showed up in here. And I had the last 4. And I was not finding the first 4. And this one in particular was just eluding me. I mean, you can see it on eBay, but it's really expensive. So I was really happy to finally find issue #1. So there's issue 1, and then 6, and then 12, then 15, 26, 36, 44, and 48 were all of the Phantom issues of Harvey Hits. And now I'm just looking for 6, 12, and 15. So really happy to have this. And I'm also looking for his appearances in Ace Comics, which predates this. So I hope you enjoyed that haul and saw some of these great comics that I picked up. And I'll see you next time with another haul. Bye-bye.